Show you guys what I'm working on now. I'm finally getting around to building a more permanent run and coop for the birds. So this is nothing special, nothing fancy. I just wanted to share with you. This is all pressure treated pine lumber, and what this is 8 feet from here, the length. So I just try to make it simple dimensions. So it's 8 feet there, and it's 6 foot. The 2x4s are cut 6 foot. That way I'll be able to use the remaining 2 foot to put cross braces in here. That also gives me, and then they're spaced 2 foot on center. So I bought a roll of 2 foot wide chicken wire to run right up. So I'm gonna have to make a bunch of cuts. I could have done a roll of 4 foot, I guess. But then I would either had to do, a long run with a seam in the middle, or I would have had to do a 4 foot piece. Now for 8 foot I could do 4 foot and 4 foot, but it's only gonna be 5 feet wide. And so what I'm gonna do is 3 foot doors with 2 foot wall. So just trying to, make it a little bit simpler and not have to make so many linear cuts. But what I did here on the bottom, this is a 2x8, and I've notched and overhung the 2x4 so I can screw it through from the backside. But also where it's notched, that'll let me be able to bury it in the ground just a couple inches. It's not enough to keep a burrowing animal from fully burrowing under, but anything that tries to scratch a little bit of the outside, like a dog or something like that, that might just kind of passively try to get in, hopefully it should deter them. I'm not too worried about it here being in the suburbs, although I did already catch a raccoon in the live trap right by the chicken coop, and he was trying to burrow in. But that's a nighttime activity, and I pin him up every night, so if the raccoon wants to get in there at night, so be it. I don't really care. That's a whole different story. I was going to make a video about the raccoon, and then the sucker escaped from the live trap. Only I could do something like that, let a raccoon out of a live trap. But anyway, one real important thing I want to share with you guys when you're building stuff is obviously make it square. Most of you guys know this if you're building stuff, but just a real quick tip to know that you've got something square. Hook your tape on the far corner, stretch to this corner here, and then do vice versa. Go from that corner to this corner, and make sure those dimensions are the same. If this dimension is longer, that means that the box is elongated this way. So if you want to make this dimension shorter, you push this corner that way. And what that will do is it'll get this corner just a little bit closer to that corner, and it will also move that corner further from this corner, so you can square up. So when I first did it, I was 122 inches and a quarter that way, and I was 121 3/4 this way. So I just had to make a 1/4 inch nudge basically to get it right. But anyway, this is just part one. So there's going to be 2 walls that are 5 feet long that are just like this, and then 2 width walls. Or sorry, these are 8 feet long. And then there'll be 2 width walls that'll be 5 feet wide. So it'll give me a footprint of 5x8, which isn't huge, but the important thing is I've got a ceiling height of 6 feet, so I'll actually be able to walk in there without being doubled over. And what I'm wanting to do is I'm going to build this so that I'll be able to build another one exactly like it if I want to in the future, and then I'll just tie them up end to end, so I'll have 5x16 or 5x32 or however long I want to keep building and keep going for a long run. But this is my old coop, or my temporary coop that I was given. A friend of mine gave this to me for free. It's supposed to be this little cute thing that looks like a stagecoach, and it's working great. I mean, it's basically 5x8 feet, so the birds, of course, they tore it up in about 3 days. There's nothing left, but it's only about 3 feet high in there. So when I go in there, I've got to be stooped over, doubled over. It's not comfortable, and it's difficult to get in there and do anything. So I'm all about having that head height. And as I go through with this construction project, I'll show you the rest, how I'm going to build the coop and everything else. So anyway, just want to share with you what I'm working on today. So there's side number 1 finished up. Doesn't look a whole lot different than what I showed y'all just a bit ago with the construction, but I've got the chicken wire stretched across it right. Worked out really good doing the 2 foot centers with a 2 foot roll of wire. I actually had a scrap of wire left in the garage that I bought almost 3 years ago when I moved down here. I tried to use it for lattice work in the garden, and it was too flimsy across a long stretch, but it certainly works for this just like it's meant to. So I use that up first. I've saved myself already 24 linear feet off that new roll that I bought. So it's always good to use up the scraps. I'm not sure, it's laying right there in the weeds or in the grass. There might be enough of a 2 foot scrap that I'll actually be able to use it on the door panels as well. I hope so. Or on the, just kidding, not on the door panels, never mind, forget I said that. But anyway, this is it for now. First panel is done.